You're now listening to From the Jump.
Welcome to From the Jump, your source for all things hip-hop. I'm Syllable. This is my co-host,
Mr. White.
Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment below saying I subscribed, and we'll try our best to reply to your comment. And today we're going to talk about Bboy Junior is a legend. So if you take a look at this video right now, you can see these breakdancing moves. It looks like he's got these his partners kind of remote controlling him, doing some miming stuff. Like they're driving him at one point. It's looking dope as fuck.
His body control is immense,
It's
man.
incredible. And he looks like he's doing variations of the 6-step, but he's completely rotating 360s around using his arms without even touching the ground at all. Like for the traditional 6-step breakdancing move, like you're hitting off with your feet against the perimeter around your body. He's completely doing loops here without even touching the ground.
And I think that's one of those things where if you look at B-boy dancing specifically, like that's one of the highest level of dancing. And when you talk about hip hop, it's always been about having a good time. And dancing is going to be included. Throughout the eras, there's always been different dances, whether you talk about Cabbage Patch, footwork.
You watched Breaking 1 and 2, right?
Toe.
You watched the movie Breaking?
No, I haven't seen that movie.
Okay, you need to watch that. That's some hip-hop homework.
Check it out.
Breakdancing is one of the elements of hip-hop, whether it's graffiti, DJing, freestyling, battling, right? Breakdancing is up there. It doesn't, unfortunately, get enough respect, but the fact is that the incredible amount of muscle control to isolate each muscle when they trying to breakdance, doing the robot, doing the 6-step, doing the head spins, it's incredible. Austin actually used to host the national B-boy competitions here in town.
Okay, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
when I was growing up, b-boying was a thing, but that was more of an 80s thing. I think, in the late 90s to 2000s, it was more about the club dances. You know what I'm saying? That's when people were real popular. It wasn't really about breakdancing, but you could still see elements of that because, like I say, that's like the highest. To me, b-boying is like only a few people can have that much skill and be able to use their bodies in that way. And I think that it's just, I feel like the reason why I kind of faded for a while is because it's not something that everybody can do, but it's still amazing to watch it when these people break because you just feel the energy of how it used to be where somebody just hopped on the turntables and then some guy just comes out and he does this thing. We were talking about it. The dance crews be just as hard as the rap crews sometimes, man.
Because they got the battles and they stepping up. And, one B-boy crew battling the next B-boy crew. Whether it was like Crazy Legs from back in the day. Like, it's insane the amount of energy and the hype that goes into that. And, it's always kind of been underrepresented. But the fact is that in 2024 in Paris, finally for the first time, we're going to see breakdancing come to the Olympic stage.
Man, that's real powerful, and that's a moment, once again, for hip-hop, just like we had, this big hip-hop thing at the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl
when before shows, they weren't really even given that type of opportunity to hip-hop artists. And, again and again, you're starting to see a breakthrough of the elements of hip-hop, whether that's in fashion, where you have Kanye West being a billionaire, doing stuff like that, where
crossover.
And of course, let's talk about Rihanna as well with her Fenty brand. Like this, it's just crazy that this once again is showing like how influential hip hop is on the culture, and then showing that this is something that takes a high level of skill, right? Like if you get to the Olympics, that means that only a few people can do it on that level, and it needs to be shown in that way.
There's another element of breakdancing that also is perhaps underrepresented, and the fact is that there's a lot of places around the United States where they have these b-boy schools where kids learn how to breakdance as an alternative to getting into B&Es and crime and on the streets, where like breakdancing becomes an alternative to the street life. And so that's dope as fuck. Be able to get a positive direction for the youth through breakdancing.
And, it's interesting, the parallels. Like, the same place we go and drop a verse is the same name for a place you go and do dance. It's a studio, right? And all of these different parallels that happen in hip hop, and a lot of people were able to change their lives through one of the elements, right? And
of hip hop.
We talked about the other ones, but specifically we're talking about dancing. I know so many people that instead of being in the streets, they had to go to practice.
Yeah.
Right. And we talk about how much work it takes just to make a song. It's
Hours
the same way to
hours.
get a routine down properly. And then if you also have elements of freestyle dancing, that just the amount of stamina it takes. Come on now. I'm not doing none of that today. I don't know.
So when I was much younger, right, there used to be this B-boy free class session at the University of Texas here in Austin, and it would meet once a week, and you could go there and learn. And man, I tried to do that shit. And no, that is ridiculous. We're talking like level of practice and skill when it comes to being like a concert pianist for classical music, right? The hours that you spend practicing those scales, getting your finger angles just right above the keys, getting, understanding the black keys, the white keys, the discordant melodies with the melodies, right? All this shit, that level of skill and that time commitment is the same thing for what these B-boys do and what they put together with their routines, with their ability to come off the top. And, one time I used to have this townhome and I was renting the bottom floor out as an Airbnb, and 8 breakdancers who were in town for the international B-boy competition in Austin, Texas, fucking crashed on my floor. And I was like, hey, you sure? It was like boys and girls. Like, hey, you sure you want to do this? Like, hey, we just trying to find a spot for the competition. If you don't mind, we'll just rent this out. And I'm like, that's fine with me. And so they all just slept on the ground. They don't care. But then I got to see them practice their routines the next morning, which is a real treat. Right?
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
see them behind the scenes practicing all the moves, and it was dope as fuck.
Recently, I went on my honeymoon to Cancun, Mexico. And we went to kind of a hole-in-the-wall spot. We had been there before. And then, these 3 young Hispanic guys pop out of nowhere, put a boombox down, start playing it. This dude has light up shoes.
Nice.
And they just start ripping it. And it was so compelling. And not just the fact because it was like, okay, seeing hip hop culture in another country, but the fact that it was just dope. It was just dope to see a live performance of dance, and you see dance also taking off again because you have stuff like YouTube Shorts and TikTok, and that's some of the most exciting stuff to watch. Like, not the corny white people trying to reproduce the dances, but the real dancers who can actually pull off this high level stuff. It's like, that's a really interesting thing to watch in less than 30 seconds, right?
That's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited that one of the elements of hip hop culture is actually getting the Olympic stage in 2024. That'll probably revitalize a whole new interest of young people into breakdancing, where we're going to see this pop off the top. So what did y'all think about Bboy Junior and his breakdancing for that video we showed earlier? Any favorites that you have for B-boys? Comment below, like and subscribe, and tune in for another episode of From the Jump.